Today we will discuss sloka number 25. A new topic will be started. A new topic will be started. So far, we have seen the first, we have seen 6 limitations. Just recapitulation. Okay. 6 limitations we saw, like AP, AT. Can you remember? Association with pain, association with time, then dissatisfaction guaranteed, like that. Second, we did invocation, and what we learned there, that knowledge is the means of liberation. Any karma can't give me liberation, because karma is 4 parts. Karma is having 4 parts: utpadyam, apyam, sanskaryam, and vikaryam. Third is jnana vritti. Aham brahmasmi. I am that Brahman, Supreme Brahman. Will negate antahkarana, the inner instrument, and it destroys all thoughts, and only Brahman remains. Brahman is the substratum. In Brahman or on Brahman, the whole universe appears. Like on the seashell, the silver appears. Then we learned Nimitta Karana, Upadana Karana, Budbudani in sloka number 8, like that. And we saw several examples. Then came the topic of Upadhi or conditionings. Sthula Upadhi, Sukshma Upadhi, Karana Upadhi. Here, Upadhi's definition we got in the crystal example. Then we came to superimposition. Superimposition in real and unreal. Different type of superimposition we saw: dharmi adhyasa, dharma adhyasa. Okay. Then we saw the 3 states of existence. Apparent existence. Then projection in that 3 states. Then we came to know what is Anvaya and Vyatireka. I think 2 classes before we learned about Anvaya Vyatireka. Then we learned Sat Abhasa and Chit Abhasa, Ananda Abhasa. Then yesterday's class we came to know the nature of Atma Sakshi, the nature of illuminator, Sakshi, witness, ultimate witness. And what is Kevala? Now, from sloka 25, we will learn a new topic, that is Ahankara. Okay, about ego, what you say, but it is not ego. We will come to know that Ahankara, ego is the part of the Ahankara, but not the whole Ahankara. So let's chant the sloka number 25. Atmanas Satchidanshascha, Atmanas Satchidanshascha, Buddhera Brittiriti Dvayam, बुद्धेर्वृत्तिरिति द्वयम् संयोज्य चाविवेकेन जानामीति प्रवर्तते जानामीति प्रवर्तते आत्मनः सच्चिदांशश्च बुद्धेर्वृत्तिरिति द्वयम् संयोज्य चाविवेकेन जानामीति प्रवर्तते. Atmanah, of the self, Satchid Amsaha, the existence consciousness aspect, Cha, and Buddhehe, of the intellect, Brittihi, the thought wave, Iti, thus, Dvayam, the two, Sanyojya, blending, Cha, and Avivekena, through indiscrimination, not discrimination, through indiscrimination, janami, I know, thus means janami iti, iti means thus, pravartate, functions. So, by the indiscriminate blending of the two, the existence, consciousness, existence and consciousness aspects of the self and the thought wave of the intellect, there arises the notion of I know. Clear? There arises I know. Now, the prose order of the sloka. Atmanaha means of Atma. Satchid Amsaha Buddhehe Vrittihi Cha iti dvayam avivekena sanyojya janami iti pratyayah pravartate. Once more. Atmanaha sat chit amsaha buddhehe vrittihi cha iti dvayam avivekena sanyojya janami iti pratyayah pravartate. Pratyayah I have added. So, if we discuss a little bit about the Tika, that Jiva is Jnata. जीव जीवात्मा का सत अंश और चित अंश, तो अखंड जो आत्मा है, अखंड आत्मा का कई अंश नहीं हो सकता. आत्मा का जो स्वरूप सत वही चित है. लेकिन जब ज्ञान चलते हैं, ज्ञान का प्रोसेस चलते हैं, जानने का प्रोसेस जब चलते हैं, उस समय उसी स्वरूप जो आत्मा है उसका ज्ञान रूपता और आनंद रूपता अप्रकटित रहता है, सप्रेस्ड रहता है. इसके लिए शिष्य को समझाने के लिए शिष्य का जो बुद्धि में ये दो चीज का डेलिबरेट सुपर इम्पोजिशन हुआ है, अंश एंड रूप, for better understanding of the student. Okay. So, वही सदंश और चिदंश बुद्धि का जो वृत्ति है उसमें प्रतिफलित होता है, और उसके बाद आत्माभास, आत्मा की जो आभास और बुद्धि का विशेष विशेष वृत्ति जो आत्मा की ज्ञानांश और आनंद अंश को आवरण करके ढक के रखता है, और बुद्धि अपने आप ज्ञातृत्व रूप धारण करता है। जो मैं नोअर हूं, आई एम द नोअर, एंड खुद का जो परिच्छिन्नता, लिमिटेडनेस, वो आत्मा में आरोप करता है। तो अविवेकेन संयोग्य, आत्मा असंग है, इसलिए किसी वस्तु के साथ आत्मा की संबंध नहीं। फिर भी ड्यू टू इग्नोरेंस आत्मा के साथ बुद्धि आदि का परस्पर जो तादात्म्य ये तैयार होता है, ये परस्पर विपरीत धर्मी है, और यही लगता है कि आत्मा ही बुद्धि है, बुद्धि आत्मा है। जानामि इति प्रवर्तते मीन्स मैं जानता हूं, मैं सुखी हूं, ये सब रूप प्रत्यय होता है। सो ज्ञान सुख प्रवृत्ति आकार का जो वृत्ति रूप में परिणत होना, इसके लिए जो बुद्धि, वही वृत्ति रूप ज्ञान सुखादि का आश्रय है। आत्मा कोई सुखादि का, सुख का आश्रय नहीं, बुद्धि है सुख का आश्रय। लेकिन आत्मा में प्रतीत होता है कि ये सुख का आश्रय, यही भ्रम है। सो लिटिल बिट more discussions. What is ahankara, or barely spoken that ego? What is that? Ahankara is the main representation of anatma. Ahankara is the main representation of anatma. When anatma is expressed individually, it calls anatma, or roughly told, when atma is expressed individually, appears as individually, it calls anatma. Ahankara means the total jiva. Ahankara is not only ego. Ego is the part of the jiva. Ahankara means jiva. It creates a rich idea in Vedanta. Sakshi or witness illumines anatma without action. There is verb, but there is no action. So there is no ownership of knowledge, because there is no action, no verb. So whatever I tell, or I told from the first class, what about the knowledge? It's not, it's not my thing. It's not my patent. Divakar Chaitanya's knowledge. No, no, no. The knowledge is independent. As I received from my guru and my guru received from his guru, Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam. I am the receiver and preserver and preacher. That's all. It is not my knowledge. The knowledge is there. What we got in Shruti, in scripture, in Veda, in Upanishad, and our Guru Parampara has preserved it and taught me. The same thing I have received and preserved in a same way and try to preach in the same way as I learned. So there a requirement, another entity who receives, means ownership. Now we will study how knowledge takes place. Wherever there is action is taking place, means the locus is subject to modification. If I run, I become tired. That is modification. That is sixth modification, Shadabika. It means there is an ending. That is Vinashati. So if the ultimate locus is Atma, then Atma will be destroyed. Isn't so? But Atma will not be subject of destruction. Clear? So if Atma is subject to destruction, then moksha, liberation for what? If Atma is anitya, there is no moksha. Means that that Atma cannot be my goal of my life. And sorry, it is Shruti Virodha. Why? Shruti says Najayate mriyate va kadachit. Atma is not subject to birth or subject to death. So the act of knowledge in Atma cannot modify Atma. So that knowledge is only in the form of illumination, not in the form of thought. When I see a pot, there should be a pot thought, ghatakara vritti. When we see phool, flower thought, phulakara vritti, means whatever we see, the vritti becomes tadakara vritti of that form. But Sakshi has no such thought or vritti. Sadhan Chatushtaya or the knowledge is expressed in Antahkarana, and that is Chit Abhasa. It is not Chittam. Okay. Mana, Buddhi, Chittam, and Ahankara is the part of Antahkarana, is the part of Jiva. What is mind, intellect, memory, and ego is the part of Ahankara, total Jiva in individual. And that is Chidabhasa. Antakarana has two parts. In Tattvabodha, we did not study it. Okay. Suppose there is a big lake and there is ripple, and on the sky there is sun. So in each and every wave, there's the sun will be reflected. Antakarana means sattvic part of the apanchikrita panchamahabhuta. So knowledge takes place there. Antakarana has two parts, which is associated with thought. How? Thought will keep coming and going like ripples of thought. But Antakarana is like a lake. The another part of Antakarana is Ahankara, who says, I understand or I don't understand. I know or I don't know. So when thought after thought comes and goes, Ahankara takes the ownership that yes, I have understood. Chidabhasa is the reflection of consciousness. Sun reflects in the lake as well as in the ripples also. So we have the knowledge ability in Antakarana, in thought. So vrittistha chidabhasa. One is vrittistha chidabhasa, the consciousness expressing in thought. Another is buddhistha chidabhasa. New concept, huh? You will not get in the book also. Please write it down. One is vrittistha chidabhasa, consciousness expresses in thought. Another is buddhistha chidabhasa, the consciousness expresses in the intellect, ahankara, that is buddhistha chidabhasa. So ahankara plus chidabhasa is knower. Ahankara plus chidabhasa is knower. Ahankara by itself can't do anything. When chidabhasa is there, ahankara says, I know. When thoughts are blessed by consciousness, then it becomes knowledge. Knowledge, thoughts keep coming and going. And knower says, I know, I don't know. Thought is always moving. When thought is there, ahankara is there. But when thought is not there, ahankara is also there. Mind or antakarana is nothing but the flow of thought. But it has a non-changing aspect. Otherwise, the knowership will not be there. Now, if we discuss the sloka a little more detailed way, that janami, I know, means I become the knower. So knower is the locus where the act of knowledge takes place. This knower is called pramata. So ahankara is pramata or jnata or knower. Who says janami, I know? Ahankara plus chidabhasa. Ahankara plus chidabhasa. So ahankara means chidabhasa is there. Always together. Ahankara and chidabhasa, they are together. They are inseparable. Like you can't separate the ripples from the water. And for reflection of sun, you need a medium of reflection. If there is no medium, how the sun gets reflected? So how does janami, that knowing, happen? Satchid amsa. Here buddhi means antakarana. Here buddhi in sloka it has used as it means antakarana. So relatively non-changing part and changing part. Those two, the part of antakarana, relatively changing and relatively non-changing part. We are getting changed every day. Our blood gets changed in 7 days, 15 days. All cells get die. Our cells, our tissues, everything. But we say, see, before 30 years, as you saw me, I am like this. And we have a whole striving. That is why we color the hair and everything else. We want to be as it is. So there is two parts, changing parts and non-changing parts. we have a notion that we are not changing. Ahankar, if doesn't get changed, then ahankar becomes eternal, nitya. Ahankar के अगर change नहीं होता तो ahankar nitya हो जाता. But the perception is not changing. So ahankar, if ahankar gets changed, it has a notion of continuation of changelessness. That is why day after day we can recognize the person whom we saw 2 years back, 3 years back, 30 years back. So Chidabhasa lending consciousness in Antakarana. Sat aspect and Chit aspect of Atma are transferred to Ahankara. So Chit aspect is also borrowed to Ahankara. So Sat plus Chit plus thought modification come together. Sat plus Chit plus thought modification come together, and it expresses as I know. Because God, the pot, everything is inert. So it needs Sat and Chit aspect for its existence and to be expressed. But how that Sat and Chit comes, existence and consciousness comes from Atma. So thought modification comes from Buddhi. Actually, this is the combination of real and unreal. When I am, deluded, I think that they are one. Like real rope and thought of snake. Here, through modification, like sanyojya cha vivekena janami iti pravartate. Sakshi knows, Ahankara also knows, but there is some difference. Illuminator, the Atma knows, and Ahankara, Jiva also knows, but there is some difference. Sakshis or Atma's knowing is without knowership. This knowing, this jnanam is called samanya jnanam, general knowledge. It is like the illumination, means ability to make things known. But ahankara also has the ability to make things known. But this is vishesha jnanam, specific knowledge. Knowledge in particular. Sakshi has no specific knowledge. Ahankara has the detailed knowledge, like physics, chemistry, mathematics, cooking. But this is the job of Ahankara. But they both stay together. Now, the Atma itself effulgent, is self-effulgent. Whereas the mind is inert matter. And without the power of illumination in consciousness, the mind would be inert and powerless to feel. For without this awareness within, we will not be conscious of our own thoughts. At the same time, a marriage between these two contradictory things, marriage between two contradictory things is impossible, and therefore any alliance between the two is at best only a delusory superimposition. The experience I know is thus produced only when a feeling or thought stands bathed, B-A-T-H-E-D, bathed in the light of consciousness. Each thought is considered as a wave-like disturbance in the mental pool. When these waves of thoughts arise in us, they are illumined by our awareness. Then we cry, I know, I understand, I feel, and so on. The sun rises, and then the waves of the sea are seen and experienced. The sunlight falls on all surfaces equally. Like a silken veil, it lies on every surface, and when the waves rise and light veil yields, embracing the waves on all sides and illumining them, so too in our inner heart, the light of the consciousness illumines the height, breadth, depth of each thought. The mind intellect equipment stands ever exposed to the eternal self and its light of awareness. Through the sense organs, when the stimuli from external world reach the heart, the mind, with the help of knowledge acquired by it in the past, produces its responses, which in their turn are expressed in the actions. Life is an unbroken series of experiences, and therefore the individual is called upon to respond to it constantly, to know the happenings and to know how to meet them is the very purpose of man's intellectual life. Self is knowledge absolute. It is knowledge itself. In it, there is nothing else that is to be known. It is the only one subject without any object to be known. As such, in itself, the self has nothing to know, yet we are experiencing the intellectual life of constantly knowing. How? This is the subject explained in the verse. It is the theory in Vedanta that the knowledge of things is gained not in the direct light of consciousness, but it is in the beam of consciousness reflected in the mind. So, I will explain it with the help of an illustration. Suppose there is storeroom in your house which is ever in darkness. One day you realize that the room was extremely well illumined. Why? There was a bucket of water on the veranda where the sunlight got reflected and threw a pool of light on the dark wall of the room. If your little son were to come at that time to play with the bucket of water, the illumination in the dark room will disappear. For when the reflecting medium is disturbed and the reflected light is splashed about, the room is again in the dark until the reflection rehabilitates itself on the wall. So too, the self never illumines the objects directly, but the light of consciousness reflected on the intellect throws out a beam of reflected consciousness which illumines the objects and gives us the experience I know. That is why even a man of intelligence, when vexed with some worries, cannot think properly or understand easily. His power of understanding or thinking is clouded when the mind is disturbed. Thus, when the mental pool rises in thought waves, the light of the self illumines them. Thought dressed in consciousness is the clear experience I know. Feelings and ideas in our bosom glittering in consciousness are our knowledge of things. Anger, knowledge, and so on are all characteristics of the mind, and they are attributed to the Atma due to lack of discrimination. The nature of Atma in reality is Sat Chit Ananda, and this eternal self does not undergo any change even when the individual experiences anger, pain, anxiety, depression, pleasure, and so on in his mind. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om.